What's going on, everybody? This is my Wonder Woman review. I just got back from the theater watching Wonder Woman, and I have to say the movie is amazing. Now, there are some flaws with it, so I'm going to go over those first. The first being that the villain in the movie takes a little bit of time to get to, although there are several different things that you could consider to be the villain in the movie. The major villain of the movie doesn't really show up until the third act, but when he does show up, it's very good. It's a good reveal, and I like kind of the way they did a slow burn to get to the villain. But the villain himself is not as powerful as you would expect them to be, I guess, considering that, they should be a lot more powerful judging by the comic books. There are some moments where the CGI is a little iffy. It doesn't look bad per se, but it's not the best, especially for a movie that costs almost $100 million. You would think the CGI would be a little bit cleaner in some spots, so that's a little bit of a letdown. And then there are some spots where the dialogue can be very cheesy, and I mean very cheesy, but overall, the dialogue and the writing of the movie is excellent. Now, let's get to the pros of the movie, because there are a lot of pros. Steve Trevor. Chris Pine does an excellent job as Steve Trevor. So, when he first comes to the island, there are a lot of different things. He comes with Themyscira, his plane crashes or whatever, and Diana finds him. This is all stuff that's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler for a lot of people. So, some of the dialogue that him and Diana have between each other is very strong. The writing between those two characters, the chemistry that they show on screen is very, very strong. And you feel some type of way about these characters. It's not like this is just a, let's throw them together and try to make them have chemistry type of thing. They really do convey that they care about each other, and you believe that the characters in the movie care about each other the more that you watch the film. And when I say film, I mean film. This is not a superhero movie per se. If you're going there for superhero stuff, it's definitely in there. But this is not a superhero movie. I think sometimes we get into the vein of forgetting that a film is supposed to be a strong film. It's supposed to have good cinematography. It's supposed to have good writing. And this film does all of that. The cinematography, some of the shots where she's riding a horse or where they're in battle, are some of the best, if not the best, I've seen in a comic book movie or a movie period, just because of the way the action flows and the way it's broken up. It doesn't seem overly edited. It seems like everything is all one clean shot, whereas we all know that it's been edited, but it doesn't appear to be that way. It's not chopped up to where it looks choppy in any way. Diana comes off as very powerful, but not overtly so. It's like she gains her power over the course of time. So she's not just instantly Wonder Woman, if that makes sense. It's like she is Wonder Woman. You see the outfit, you see the costume, you see all of those things. But her gaining her powers takes a little bit of time. Her understanding about the world takes a little bit of time. So it's definitely a movie that is a slow burn in a kind of a way, but it's not a slow burn in a way that makes the film boring. It's a two and a half hour movie, but it doesn't feel like it at all. It doesn't feel like how, like say a Batman versus Superman. That movie at times kind of drug on. It felt like there was parts that were kind of a letdown, but this movie is more just like they put the action in such a way that it brings everything together and it's very cohesive. A lot of people were upset when they announced that Gal Gadot was going to be Wonder Woman. But I'm telling you, she's like perfect for the Wonder Woman role. She's pretty, she's strong, she comes off as powerful, and the way she delivers her lines, her facial expressions, even when there's times where she's supposed to be confused about the world, you feel like she really is this lost child in a new world that's just discovering the world of men. And it's very powerful. A lot of times the way that she just conveys messages through her face acting. It is very similar to the way that Tom Hardy did with Bane. You couldn't see his face, but you knew what he was feeling because of the way he did little things with his face, little intricacies and stuff like that. The other things that are very strong in the film are, like I said, the action sequences. The supporting characters are not necessarily I wouldn't say they're essential, but there are lines of dialogue that they contribute to the film that make the script that much stronger. So there's little things that are said here and there between some of the supporting cast members, and I would really suggest to listen to the dialogue strongly because there are little references to racial discrimination, feminism, there's politics, like there's a scene where Diana's talking to a general and, she kind of like let it be known that if you're a soldier and you're a warrior, you need to be fighting with your people. Stuff that is strong like that. Social commentary, political commentary. There's a lot of very good writing in this film, and I just think that it's done very well. I think all of the reviews that have come out, like Rotten Tomatoes and all that stuff, they're pretty much dead on with the rating for this film. A lot of people are saying that it's as good as The Dark Knight. The reason I can't say that is not because the movie isn't great, and it's not because it's not very well written and the action isn't done very well. But the reason for that is because of the villain. In The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's Joker was villainous, and he was formidable, and he was just outright crazy, and you felt like he was a true threat to Batman. Not saying that this villain is not a threat to Wonder Woman, because all around the movie there's cues that he is, but not on the level that Heath Ledger played the Joker. The Joker just came off as maniacal, and he made you feel anger towards him. And in this movie, they try to get there, but they use it more so the war and the mechanisms of the war come off more as the villain than the actual villain, if that makes sense. So I would say if you're going to go see Wonder Woman, which you probably already were if you're a comic book movie fan, this is easily the second best after the Dark Knight DC film. I would say of comic book movies, I would probably rank them, Dark Knight and Civil War. See, like for me, Dark Knight, Civil War, and Winter Soldier are all kind of on the same level. So I have to almost tie them just because they all have different things that make sense to me as the best comic book movie. But Wonder Woman is definitely in that second tier of comic book movies, with like Avengers and, Iron Man 1. But it's definitely one of the best superhero films and movies to come out in recent years. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I got more stuff coming for you soon. Getting ready to watch this Cleveland Cavaliers and Golden State Warriors game 2. And we all know who I'm rooting for. LeBron. Screw you, Durant. Screw you, Steph Curry. Screw you, Klay Thompson. Let's go, Cavs. Peace.